getting injured in life is basically inevitable, but depending on your current conditioning, you are either at a higher risk of injury or a lower risk of injury. To help me explain, let's imagine two different individuals. One who is very sedentary and spends all their life sitting, and then another person who is very active, works out regularly to a high degree. If we take both of these individuals, put them in the same recreational basketball league, which one is more likely to get injured? Now the answer 99 out of 100 times is going to be the sedentary individual. The reason is that our body will adapt to whatever stress we place on it. So if you're very sedentary, your body gets very good at being sedentary. You will lose muscle, your tendons, ligaments, and joints and bones will all get weaker. Whereas if you are very strong, you place a lot of stress on all of these structures, and that helps them to stay strong. Imagine an arbitrary scale from 1 to 10. The sedentary person is a 1, and then the very active person is a 10. If playing basketball is a 6, when you go from 1 to 6, 1 being the baseline, 6 being the activity, that person is at a higher risk of injury than the person who goes from 10 to 6, because 6 is actually easier than what they do on a regular basis. They're not likely to get injured at all. Now, obviously, with playing a sport versus going to the gym is a very controlled environment, and playing the sport is unpredictable, which is why I'm a proponent of training to a higher degree than for the activity that you like to do. Obviously, if you do go to the gym, there is always a risk of injury. The best way to avoid that is to always make sure you have immaculate form. So if you're just starting, you have to focus on technique before you focus on getting stronger, and then once you have that technique down, you can slowly add more and more weight. If you are just starting, you have to go very slowly with how you progress. Otherwise, you won't give your body enough time to recover in between, and then you will also get injured with that. Something else to keep in mind is that the older we get, the more likely you are to get injured. Because everything gets stiffer and we naturally can't handle as much stress as we can when we're young, the older you are, you have to maintain a certain level of conditioning if you want to play some sort of sport. The common example right now is people playing pickleball. We have a lot of older people who started playing pickleball, but because they went from doing most activities that are easier than pickleball became the hardest thing they do every week, meaning that when they play pickleball, they are stressing their body to their individual maximum. And that, more often than not, is going to cause some sort of injury at some point. As a side note, I have seen a lot of people with pickleball injuries. So if you want to minimize your risk of injury, you have to train harder than whatever activity you like to do.